What's up, everybody? It's your boy Reggie from TheCASUAL.co, and welcome back to the return of the state where we discuss, disseminate, and debate the fashion industry and the culture around it. Let's get right into it. Men have reclaimed their fashion genre, so to speak. I know a lot of people are not going to be happy to hear this. I know a lot of people are not going to be happy to hear this. The fact of the matter is that men are actually reclaiming their position, not just in fashion, but culturally, particularly in America. Now, I've been hit with this so many times because people are always telling me, well, people can wear whatever they want. Do you have a problem with that? Dude, I'm a dude who wears yoji. There's people out there who make fun of what I have to wear, right? So I get it. I can't wear yoji in I can't wear yoji in the USA and not get talked about. All right, that is just a foolish statement. No, it's understanding exactly where the market is, because the mainstream of dudes weren't looking to wear sheer shirts like Harry Styles. And when they start seeing that being promoted, it sends a signal to them like, in order to be fashion forward, you gotta start making more risks. You know, we got some articles that we're gonna be discussing about this. But before we get into that, a word from our sponsor, Squarespace. A big part of fashion is community, and building a fashion brand or any business requires a strong one. That's why using Squarespace for your new website might be the way to go. Besides being packed with great website templates, built-in SEO and analytics, Squarespace's new members areas make it easy to create, foster, and grow a community of true fans. Give back by giving members exclusive content, discounts, and much more, all while monetizing your business. So use our code squarespace.com/thecasual to save 10% off of your first website, and let Squarespace help you build your brand, business, and community. Recently, Vogue did an article talking about what was being bought in 2024. Not necessarily what was trending, but what people actually bought. What was selling in 2024? Because what's trending and what's selling, sometimes that doesn't line up. I wanna go ahead and take a minute to read part of this article because they did a small little interview with a gentleman by the name of Christopher Green. He owns a store called Vinspace in Brooklyn, New York. And the article goes, "We opened this fall, and from the beginning, the #1 selling brand was Auralee. And I think for most people who sell it, they'll have the same sentiment. The sell-through has been so strong. It's a wonderful brand which marries quality of fabrication, simplicity of design, and wearability. It works for different ages, and it touches people whether they're in the know or not. It's not a hard brand to introduce to people, even if someone isn't overly into fashion. It resonates with them." This is important. This is an important point. Not everybody's into fashion. Those of you who are watching me right now, a lot of you are into fashion, so you know the intricacies, you know the nuance, you know all of that stuff. But most people who just wanna wear something nice don't really care. This is why Uniqlo is so popular. They don't really care about all the other minutia and crazy stuff. Does it look good? It's really the point here. If the last few years have sometimes been about buying something in the moment and not really thinking about the end use of what you're buying, that has changed. And that's something we're very much behind. It's why we're not into representing trends, and you won't find any logos in the store. La Mer has been wonderful and it's been gaining traction for some time now. It is well made and somewhat of a luxury price. It represents an investment, and our customers are looking to invest. We also launched our own in-house line, VIN 11231, and that has been fantastic. It has a 95% sell-through. He continues, in terms of what else is selling, we've been seeing an uptick in knitwear versus sweatshirting, blah, 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 blah. But really, this next part is really important. We're seeing more smartness versus casualness. Yes, people are still buying denim, but I think people want to look and feel a bit smarter and more sophisticated. That's true of the knits, but also, we've had so many requests for a transitional blazer or jacket. They're not looking for true suiting, but we're walking more towards a more laid-back expression of suiting with the casual refinement. It's about defining the silhouette, something that I've been talking about for a minute. Obviously, the really wide and baggy has been at the forefront of people's minds for some time now, but I've noticed guys are not looking for that right now. They want a trimmer look. When I buy for Vince Space with men's, the silhouettes are really not that different from brand to brand. It's not like the women's world, which is so much more adventurous. So I really want to focus on fabrication to tell different stories, that a fabric has been brushed or spun or woven to give it a certain hand. This is important because this is exactly what, I hate to be like this is exactly what I've been talking about for the better part of 3-4 years. Now, actually from the very beginning, but for 3-4 years, I've been talking about it. Silhouette, fabric, cut. These are the things, particularly in men's fashion, that are going to reign true. And the reason why is because I understood a very, very important thing. And that is that ultimately, dudes will always go back to the tradition, to the traditional, to the classic. This is the reason why Gentleman's Gazette. This is the reason why Drew Joyner. This is the reason why Harry Haas. This is the reason why Tim. All these guys, all these people in that space continue to be popular because it resonates from generation to generation. There will always be dudes who will start with something that's a little bit crazy, the vast majority, the mainstream, I should say, who start with something crazy, do something crazy, then they get a little bit older and they have to settle in. And usually what they do is they settle in with what the majority of their peers settle into. They go to work, they have to wear a certain outfit. They go to, a soiree, a wedding, they have to wear a certain attire. So all these things become integrated within their lives, despite what they did before. Of course, there are outliers out there. There's people who are like, yo, I'm in the streetwear, blah, blah, blah. But the vast majority of people want to know more about what is the intricacies of the actual piece that I'm wearing. How is it made? That's more important to me. Look, he continues, we've had customers who aren't shy about spending, and I know it's still early for us and there's a bit of buzz about the store, so people want to get involved and participate, but I do think people are objectively looking for something they can wear multiple times. People do talk about cost per wear to justify purchasing something. The pandemic affected things a lot, and it still is. Streetwear is still relevant, but luxury streetwear is becoming far less important. People want a cleaner, smarter look. They're done with the logo-driven stuff, like the Japanese brand Kale that I really wanted us to have, and another brand from Japan, Graph Paper. Now, if you've been here, you know about Graph Paper because I've talked about Graph Paper on the channel. If you haven't heard about Graph Paper, I'll go ahead and show you that. Graph Paper, this is Graph Paper, right? Clean, cut, look. It's using Japanese typical silhouettes, a little bit wider, some drop shoulders here, some dolman sleeves, some butterfly collars, which you see a lot, some tuck pants, some wides, all these kind of things, but they're cut in a classic way. And they're clean in a classic way that is very easy to adopt if you're into just kind of traditional menswear. That's really what it is. It's just a traditional adoption. Looking at these trucker jackets that are not made with denim, right? This is 100% wool right here, 100% wool. And this is what you're getting with a lot of Japanese brands. This is nothing new. So what Christopher Green is actually talking about is nothing new. That is something that has been happening in Japan for the better part of 10, maybe 15 years now. It's always go classic, let's change up the fabric, let's change up how it looks. This is exactly what you're gonna be looking for in terms of the new look. But we go to the last article that that really just puts the cherry on top, right? 2024 was all about the straight white bro. Look at the political sphere, look at the manosphere content, Joe Rogan, Theo Von, all these people, huge, blew up. We know this, but why did they blow up? It's because of a rejection of what is perceived, and I hate saying this word, this perceived thing called wokeism. I think it's ridiculous, but they know it's fake. It's not real, and that's really the pushback. It's not that we don't want more people involved in everything. It's that we know that you're forcing this on us, and we know it's not genuine. And so you look at this, 2024 was all about the straight white bro. We could see this happening most visibly in mainstream music. It's not just that country music. A southern genre with a past and present of conservative politics has emerged in the mainstream over the past 2 years with much controversy. It's that this class of musicians Morgan Wallen, Zach Bryan, Jelly Roll, Luke Combs, and Shabuzi, and the newly rustic Post Malone are glaringly male. Shabuzi's unprecedented achievements in an overwhelmingly white genre, Shabuzi's black, if you didn't know, add a refreshing element to this conversation. Beyonce also released a successful country album this year featuring Shabuzi and an array of black female country artists. Cowboy Carter's lead single, Texas Hold'em, topped the Billboard Hot 100 for 2 weeks, a shorter amount of time than Morgan Wallen, Post Malone, and Shabuzi's #1 songs this year. Nor was she recognized by the country establishment, getting completely shut out of the Country Music Association Awards. Overall, it seems like country fans and the average young person who's listening to more country music these days are still more eager to hear dudes croon about beer. This is super important for business implications, which we'll get into in the OT, but also just for cultural implications. This is where everything was headed. It was clear. I knew the minute Top Gun Maverick came out, it was a wrap. Now, Europe is still doing its thing. Europe is not really in that equation, but the US fashion, absolutely 100%. This is the era of men reclaiming the perceived classic vision of masculinity. And you're gonna see more of it, and you're probably gonna get tired of it. I'm more anxious to see if they take it too far. But in terms of the overall culture of things, you had, like, for ladies fashion, trad wives was trending on TikTok, the traditional wife aesthetic, you know, cotton dresses, these classic looks. Even if we go back to that Vogue article, we start talking about some of these other Molly Nutter by George Austin in New Orleans. You see these looks, these are classic normcore adjacent looks. What I am interested in knowing is how you guys feel about it. Do you think that this classic trajectory will prevail, or do you think there'll be a shift? In my mind, I think it's here for a minute because of outside factors. So I want to know what you guys think about that. Let it all be known in the comments. If you want to get in on our overtime discussion with my unfiltered thoughts, as well as some business implications for this, join us on Patreon. We're switching everything up so we get more people to have access to, overtime. So what we're trying to do is make sure that we never have those little cuts again. And the only way we could do that is with you. All right, no more cuts if you know what I mean, if you know what I'm talking about, right? It's gonna help us out a lot, and we're gonna be on it all the time. We're gonna redo the Discord. We're gonna redo how we, deliver our content. So there's gonna be a lot of changes in 2020, late 2024, because we're still in 2024, and 2025. So be prepared for that, and I hope you guys enjoy it a lot. Again, unfiltered thoughts and the business implications of it in Patreon. In any case, keep it locked right here for all of your info on international fashion, culture, and business from Tokyo. It's your boy, Keep It Casual. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu, and I'll see you guys in a minute.